I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
Hi, friends, and welcome back to another episode of Campione Reacts. That's right, and today we have some, well, extra special crazy for you. We've got a reaction to clips oriented around the idea that men aren't approaching women. And I want to get everybody's reaction to that. So, without further ado, let's introduce the gang, the lovely ladies here that actually make this thing work. We have Tugs. How you doing, Tugs?
I'm good.
You can check her. You can check her out over on many different platforms, whether it be Twitch or Kick or even on YouTube. She is phenomenal, and check her out on all those platforms. We have the lovely Joe Rosie joining us for the very first time. Thanks for being here, Joe Rosie. You can find her on many platforms as well, including YouTube, and hanging out with that fella X-Wing, you know, my pal in follicle privilege, we'll say. And then finally, the amazing Nadia from Horror with Nads, who I follow personally and try not to ever miss a live stream. So thank you, Nadia. You're incredible. And I appreciate your ladies' comments today, because this one's a weird one for somebody like me. You know, why men don't approach. I'm an old-fashioned dude. You know, I still approach, or well, I would still approach ladies, but back in the day, that's just the only way you were able to meet ladies. So let's take a look at this. I expect you to be honest in your reactions, and well, I demand it, as a matter of fact.
A single man in the gym and you have a gym crush, this is your sign to go talk to them, because please, for the love of God, I am so sick of making eyes with men and doing the stupid little look at you, look away, make eye contact, look away, look for them in the gym. Just come talk to me. It's not that hard. Put on your big boy pants, tell her she's pretty, tell her she's strong, offer to spot her, make a joke, I don't care, just figure it out.
Most men are not falling for this anymore because too many women have said time and time again that they don't want to get hit on in the gym. The bottom line, ladies, is that if you want him to approach you because you're interested, guess what? You can also approach him. You can put on your big girl pants. And I know that a lot of you will not like that solution, but you gotta understand that you sort of created this situation because women don't want to be approached at the gym. They don't even want to be asked for help. They don't want to be asked for that spot. They don't want to even be walked behind, and they definitely don't want to be made eye contact with. So for men to take the risk of being accused for something or kicked out of their safe space simply because he was interested in you and he tried to approach you in a really decent way, that is why men are saying that it's just not worth it. So if you want him, approach him.
And you know what? I want to hear what you have to say about that. Should men approach ladies in the gym? Let's start with Tugs. Tugs, what do you think?
Dear God, no, leave me alone. I'm dying. After, maybe after I've gone to the bathroom and splashed some cold water on myself and I don't look like a tomato.
Okay.
Go away. But that being said, though, I say that. But that being said, though, if you see me struggling and then you think I might need a spot, that would be very much appreciated because I don't want to actually die. But yeah, no. Listen, there are things that you don't approach. Your girl's doing dishes. I don't want to go to the bedroom with you right now. I'm washing dishes. Okay, I'm focused. Okay, I'm at the gym. Do it afterwards. Maybe, yeah. But she's right. She could always just go say hi to him. Also, I can't tell you how many times I've made eye contact with guys at the gym because you're looking around. You're in your set and you're looking around and you just happen to, you're like, hey. It doesn't mean that he likes you. It just means you keep catching his eye for whatever reason because you're looking for him. Ugh, leave me alone. I'm sweaty and hot.
Okay, well, that's fair. I'm curious, though, Joe. Do you have a different thought around that?
Slightly. So I was a huge gym rat in my youth. I actually got my first gym membership when I was like 14, and I took it very, very seriously. And I hated when people came up to me. I get both sides. Like, I understand this is our cultural norm. Man approaches women, but as Tugs was saying, like, I'm not one. I feel very, I don't want to say vulnerable, but I'm concentrated. I'm sweating. I'm trying to get done in X amount of time to get on with my life before I like do the next thing. I'm not in my mindset of I'm looking for partner right now. I'm focused. So that was not for me. That was not a like place to search for a mate. Not acceptable. I also don't like wearing, because of this, I would not like wearing like super cute outfits, like the matching like bra top. Like I would be the person with the oversized t-shirt because I just don't want, I want to give the vibe, leave me alone. So naturally, I think I just have that because I have resting face, especially when I'm like serious. So it's like no
So do
one
I.
like they
Yeah.
get it. It's like leave me alone. However, I think that I am very confident in myself, and if I am interested in someone, I will go and talk to them. I have never had a problem with that. In fact, I usually have made the first move in 99% of my relationships because I understand how scary it can be for a man to come approach a woman and get rejected. So, ladies, you definitely have to understand that there is this threshold that men have to overcome. Do I really, really want to go and talk to this woman? What if I get rejected? That's got to be really hard. So they've got to really like you or just be, at a point where they're like, I got to do it. If there's even any interest, lady, you need to do it. Make it easier.
Yeah, especially in a place like that.
Mm-hmm.
Look, that's 2 against so far. So leave the ladies alone when they're focused. But let's see if Nadia has a different opinion. What do you think?
So I'm old fashioned. I think a man should approach a woman. That being said, there's a time and place for it, especially when it comes to gym culture lately. You've got 2 sides. You've got men who are afraid to approach women, and then you have women who record themselves and saying, like, see this creepy guy staring at me when people are just working out. And also, men have to also take in the consideration of the risk of if she turns you down, now you're still going to the same gym. So you're still going to have that awkward. So maybe, I don't know, read into it a little bit more, see if she really is interested in you. But I'm not pro women approaching men. But I'm old fashioned. So like, I understand people's perspective. If you're interested in someone, approach it. But I think men should always approach women if you're interested. But I also think there's a time and place, and the gym is not that place.
Well, okay, so look, you all are saying the gym's not the place to do that. Can you suggest maybe, let's start with Joe, a place that men should approach young ladies?
Any other place. So I'm a believer in go to places where you approach women in a place that kind of will showcase your, like-mindedness. So if you're in the library, I'm a bookworm, absolutely. Go for it. If I'm like looking for a book or I can't reach a book, go for it and be like, it looks like you're reaching for this book. Let me help you out with that. Or just, strike up a conversation. If you're a Comic-Con, if you're at GameStop, absolutely. Gym's just not the place. If you're at Publix or Target, and if you're of the religious mindset, hey, after mass or after service, feel free, because that would be like, okay, I know this person is in my sphere of interest or sphere of things like mindedness. So go for things like that.
Yeah. What do you think, Nadia?
Same. I agree with Joe on this one. Like the bookstore, library, your church, your community, go to community events that interest you, get into hobbies. You might meet people through there as well. So yeah, I'm 100% with that. Again, I still think men should just approach women.
Understood. Now, Tuggs, do you think that there's some untraditional places that you could meet people and approach them that would be, Joe suggested obviously Publix, which is a grocery store. Some people might not be familiar with that.
Gosh,
or places like that. Is there anywhere that's non-traditional, like at a bar? Because I'm like, I don't even know that people go to bars anymore, but could you maybe somebody approach you in a movie theater?
I've never been approached in a movie theater, but I have seen, especially in the teenage years, not so much now that I'm old, but when I was a teenager, there were guys our age, thankfully, that would hit on like girlfriends of mine in the movie theater. Like, oh, you're going to like, when we used to go see Saw every year for my birthday. And there was always, without fail, some group of guys that were seeing whatever was action thing or whatever was out at the time. And they'd be like, oh my gosh, a bunch of girls. Aren't you guys going to be scared? Don't you need somebody to help you like in the theater so you're not scared, that kind of thing. And it was kind of fun. And sometimes they would change their tickets and come and join us, and we would have a good time watching the movie. And other times the girls would be like, oh, whatever, like get out of my face. So it just, that was kind of a fun, weird, unusual one. The gym, I think, can be a place, but it depends on the kind of gym you're going to. If you're going to a regular, everybody's 24-hour fitness or Golds or whatever, that's going to be harder to approach than if you're doing something like CrossFit, which is very hands-on. They partner you up. It's very social. That is definitely, I've seen people form relationships from that because that's a common interest. They do that. I've seen bookstores is always a good one. Oh, you're reading that? Like, is that good? Whatever, what you got there, kind of thing. And I don't know. You can really pick any place, but the most important thing, and men are kind of bad at this just in general, is reading the room. Like if I'm at Walmart and I'm walking back to my car with a cart full of groceries and you're catcalling me in the Walmart parking lot, maybe that's not the time and place. But if you're in a Publix or a Whole Foods or whatever, and you see she's got like this giant cut of meat, but she's bringing home or whatever, and what are you gonna do with that one? And you're gonna grill it, or I found that you put that in the smoker for 10 minutes. It's really good, or I don't know, something like that. Like that would work. But
Yeah. Apparently,
I can't tell you the Walmart parking lot. There's always some guy in the wall. Hey, mommy. What? No, go away.
Okay, so not in the Walmart parking lot, but maybe in the Trader Joe's. Fair enough. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Well, let's move on to the next clip, which maybe this is a different circumstance situation. We got a lot of these. Let's get into it.
Okay, I have a question, and maybe this is a stupid question, but that hasn't stopped me in the past from asking my questions. My question here. My brother was telling me about how in the gym, guys don't really approach girls, which, good. Don't approach me. Don't talk to me. Thank you. But so then I was like, if we're supposed to approach guys, how do you know when a guy wants to be approached by a girl? Because girls, we'll give like the little ojitos, we'll give little signs. Like, it'll be like we'll keep looking back. They're like, ah. But how do you know? Like, if you're a guy and you saw a pretty girl and you wanted her to talk to you because you don't want to talk to her, what do you do? Please let me know. That's what I'm curious about. Thank you.
She is so cute.
She is. She's adorable. But here's the problem. She's presenting. If guys, you don't want guys to approach you in certain situations, but like the gym, are you going to jump up and decide, I'm going to approach this guy in the gym? I mean, dudes, even though they're focused, tend to not mind that kind of attention. I'm speaking as a dude now. I'm the only dude here. That's the whole plan. But I'm like, where are you? Where's your mindset, or what do you think? Because guys don't give hints and we don't read hints. And that's going to be a whole other segment we're going to do in the future. I've already got clips built for that. But I've got to ask you, Joe, how do you know that maybe it's okay to approach a guy, that you're unlikely to get shot down? Because that's the biggest fear for you girls, right?
I mean, I have been rejected before and I clearly was wrong, but I've kind of got the mindset if you miss all the shots you don't take. So if I'm interested, I don't wait for a sign, especially if I'm already committed to the concept, which I've said before. A woman, if you're interested, just shoot your shot. What's the worst that can happen? It's not really like, okay, maybe my ego will be bruised for a few seconds, but whatever, I'll be fine. I'll live. So I don't wait for a sign, especially like you said, men often don't give you anything.
Yeah, well, yeah, we don't drop hints and we don't read hints. So trying to do the hintos thing that she was talking about, no bueno. No mas. Speaking of which, Nadia, I know you're old school and you expect the man to approach, but would there ever have been a situation or circumstance that you would have read a situation and actually approached a guy? And how would you go about doing that now?
So I think it's interesting because men like to help. So women could read into the fact that just because you're approaching somebody, say like, hey, spot me, if you could please spot me or something. Men are always, most of the time, eager to help individuals. So you might misread their attention as interest. I don't know. Because I've never approached a man before. I'm serious. In all the relationships I've had, I've never had to approach. So I think I think you have to build a friendship first, I would assume. Like maybe start to spot each other, maybe you start doing workouts together, maybe in that sense, and then you're able to read the room and see if they're interested in you. That's where I would assume. Now I'm just talking out of my ass. I don't know.
No, that's fair. That's fair. If you lack the experience or the understanding, I could get it, because in the situation that, again, because we're maybe a little older than these other two, we didn't have these experiences because the guys were still going up to girls and, initiating contact. Speaking of initiating contact, Tugs, I'm sure you've had opportunity to approach men in your past, and I will ask you, how would you go about doing that these days? And how would you know that it would be okay to do that without getting just obliterated?
I mean, I don't know. I have never really approached guys either, honestly. But I mean, when you're out in a social setting, it's pretty obvious. I think they don't do the hints, but there's a scan that men do that you're like, I can go, I can get this one. Watch this, and that you just know. In this specific situation at the gym, I'm gonna go with Nadia on that one. Like asking, like, "Hey, come spot me. Can you come spot me? I need help."
Yeah. But by the way,
And then
those hand gestures actually work.
and then that, yeah. Can I get some
Really?
help? Flutter your pretty eyelashes. And she is super cute, so I'm sure she'll be able to find whatever. But that would be in a bar or a club. It's different. There's alcohol involved, and so you get like the leering look, and you're like, okay, yeah, I know that one. That one's looking at me. This is gonna go well. But in a situation like at the gym or your running club or whatever, like you would have to find. They're not going to give you signs like that, and so you would have to find a way to just be like, hey, come spot me, or do you usually come here on Tuesdays, or do you know what this machine does, because I have no idea what this machine does. Something like that, and just kind of break the ice. Because
that does work with men. You and Nadia are spot on. I mean, that's just the way it is. And I love Joe Rosie's thought process here, because you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And so guys, that works both ways. So you can take a shot, even though these ladies told you don't do it in the gym. Just anyway, let's jump into this last one here. See what y'all think.
You guys, so I'm at the gym. You know what? Go up to her. Go up to the girl that you think is cute, because most likely she likes you too, and she's waiting for you to go up to her. So do it.
So do it. Yeah. You guys have given contrary advice at this point, which I get. I mean, to me, the gym is a very focused energy that you're doing something like that. Imagine under certain circumstances, you could say, do you need a spot or something like that, just to indicate you might be interested in a conversation. But as a guy, I'm just not likely to talk to you in the gym. I'm not likely to talk to anybody in the gym. So let me know. Are there times that this lady's approach or her thoughts are applicable? Nadia, after that, what do you think?
I still think the gym is probably a bad place, and I actually agree with Tugs. It might be in a case of like CrossFit, like a certain exercise that is, I don't want to call it a hobby, but it's focused in that. So if you're doing something like CrossFit or boxing, because then you both have similar interest, maybe that's a way to meet people. But if you're just going for a workout, I still don't think I don't think either it's a good approach to in that sense. But gym culture wasn't a big deal when I was dating. I'm old. So I don't know what the newer generations are doing.
And that brings me back to Tugs. Where are we at with this? Is you gave some suggestions, a running club and CrossFit and things like that. Even in the regular gym, would there be any way that you'd want to be approached? I think you also suggested after you're done working out, maybe on your way out the door after the locker room. I don't know. That's a lot of contrary advice.
You're kind of refreshed a little. I mean, I don't know about everybody, but I like to go into the bathroom and put cold water in my face, because it's, especially here in Texas, it's hot and humid. So like you're working out and you're hot, and then it's just hot. And so I like to do that and kind of like gather myself a little bit. So that might be depending, approaching her and being like, hey, are you struggling? You see her struggling with the machine, maybe something like that. But I have noticed the two videos that we watched, not the girl in the middle, because she was asking a serious question. She seems to me like she's got a crush on somebody, is trying to figure out how to approach them as a girl. So she's looking for information. This video we just watched and the first video we just watched, that screams to me like those girls have a gym crush, and they're posting it on TikTok so that their gym crush would see it. which cut out the middleman and just go say hi. Ask him to help you load a heavier weight. It's not that hard.
And you know what, that makes an awful lot of sense, and kind of along the line of what Joe was saying. But can I make a suggestion? Most guys probably don't know you have a TikTok, or if they do, they probably avoid it.
Right.
I mean, this is a trend that doesn't go well for men. Joe, do you think that's what's going on?
I don't think that. I mean, I personally don't do TikTok, and I can't assume like my usual guy friends would they would laugh if I said, "Oh, do you follow me on TikTok?" They probably don't. But I would say that taking some advice from Tuggs and Nadia. So a lot of these big box gyms, like what this probably is, a 24-hour fitness, a crunch fitness, a lot of them have included in your membership classes. And girls, hey, I like to go to my yoga class at my big box gym or my spinning class. If I'm a guy and I'm interested, kind of do a smaller setting, which is what I think Tuggs and Nadia was saying too, or the shared interest. Go join her and check her, I don't want to say stalk her, but check out where she's doing and see, okay, she goes to Friday, 5 p.m. flow class. Maybe I'll join. Maybe I'll next week I'll show up there, because it's you're constantly going, you see them all the time. So I get it. It's going to be, in adult life, how often is it that you keep running into the same people? So I understand the need or desire to go meet someone at the gym, because that's going to be the same kind of group of people you see all the time. So yeah, just find a way, whether it's like Tug said, outside, or if they have maybe a juice bar, or, some gyms have that, or again, after your yoga class, hey, it's my first time at a yoga class. Any tips? Something, just strike up conversation, kind of gauge, put a thermometer in it and see, did she act don't talk to me? Or, is she kind of being friendly? So if she's friendly, shoot your shot.
You know what? I love this idea, and it's great. And of course, this is a very gym focused version of this particular conversation. Believe me, folks, we'll have many more. But I think that's not a bad idea. Just say, hey, you want to join me at the protein pit afterwards, or whatever your little juice bar thing is called, because a lot of gyms do have those kinds of facilities. And I do think, as a man, I'm inclined to go to a class you might be interested in if I want to shoot a shot. But again, those days are well behind me. On that note, I will say this. I really appreciate all of your perspectives. Is there anything else you could add to the pile on this about who should approach Gym Edition? Nadia, what do you think?
I have nothing to add. Men, just approach her if you're interested. But hey, if she tells you no, that's no. It's no. Don't stop. Don't continue. Just take the first no. Take the first no. Don't be weird. Yeah, don't be weird.
Don't be weird. Okay, that's great advice, Joe Rosie. I know you're a shoot your shot person, but like I said, this is the gym edition of this conversation. Is the gym just maybe not the right place, or maybe it is? I'm getting a lot of mixed feelings from you ladies. So.
Well, it's circumstantial for sure in the gym. So just don't be weird. It's kind of the same thing. And understand some women especially feel vulnerable there. So take that into consideration and just try to do it in a place where it's not going to be super, uncomfortable. But I think life's short. So both parties, whether you're the man or the woman, life's short, and it's very hard to find a good relationship these days. So if you see someone that kind of checks your boxes, okay, she's into fitness, he's into fitness, they're attractive, he seems like a nice person, go for it. What's the worst that can happen?
What's the worst that can happen? Tuggs, you're the final word on this one. Thoughts?
No extra thoughts. No extra thoughts. I think as a general rule, the gym is probably not your best bet, especially in the middle of a workout and things like that. But I do think that I'm with Joe on that there could be certain circumstances. You join her in her silly little yoga class, you're going to get attention as a guy in there anyway, because there's a guy in a yoga class. What's going on here? So, automatically you're going to draw attention to yourself. So bonus points, and then, oh, that was really hard. I don't know how you ladies do it, or whatever. I don't know. Something like that. But yeah, as a general rule, I think just like with anything else, just kind of read the room. All
right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. The gym may not be the best place, but hey, if you're driven, it's the only opportunity you have. Maybe it's your chance to shoot your shot, because as Joe Rosie said originally, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And on that note, from Campione Reacts, we're out.
Step one. Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.